Hey, Kathy, good to see you. It's a wet night. It's a wet night. Hello, horsey. I have an umbrella. The umbrella's not open because it's like misty. Misty means I'll have to wipe the lens. The Bedford. Tell you, Kath, I just finished work. I work evenings. Start at 4, usually done around now. Although Saturday and Sunday I booked off because it's doors up in Toronto. And I do enjoy that. Trying to coordinate with Ema. Ema, Dano, how are you? Okay, well, this is the best. You need to get onto your Google machine and look up Blunt Metro. Well, this is the best mini umbrella ever made, in my opinion. They make bigger ones, like golf umbrellas, blunt. And they call it blunt because there's no sharp edges. They are unbreakable in 90-mile-an-hour winds. Donating them to others. Yeah, Blunt is the company. I ended up buying them. It was a Kickstarter campaign. Never sure what this place is. Hey Juanita, how are you? It says it's a coffee place. It looks like a coffee place, but it was maybe a cigar place, but they have wine too. But it looks tiny. And that is the KX Coffee Bar, just east of Bedford on Davenport. As I said, I've not undone the umbrella. It's not raining, but it's like misty, kind of like if you're at Niagara Falls, constant stuff in your face. I don't know the score of the hockey game. Feel free to tell me. I assume it started by now. And I'm approaching Avondab. This is what I call Henry weather. Like if it's weather that nobody else likes, Henry's probably walking around in it. Oh, 3-1 Oilers, thank you. Because Henry is unstoppable. I'm very stoppable. We are at Avondab. End of the second, thank you. All day, all night. Ramprat, how are you? Usually first in the chat, Ramprat. I believe Ramprat was first in the chat for my Ministry concert. I think Shaggy Cathy was the last one to arrive. I'm gonna wander through Yorkville, because why not? And is Jazz in the chat? If you are, I missed you. I totally missed you. And I don't even know what the hell this place is, but looks like a fancy place. This is Yorkville, so this is a flower shop that seems to only have orchids. Well, Shaggy Cathy got there for the best song, which is Do You Think I'm Sexy, which a band called Revco, offshoot of Ministry, covered and made it a very fun song. And this is the iPhone 15 Pro Max with the gimbal using Prism, so I expect the stability will be fine. Let me know if I need to wipe my lens. Vasily, good to see you. How are you?
I got it.
I'm jealous. And you're now witnessing the valet service at Soto, this is the Italian place in Yorkville where you'll find De Niro and such places, such people. I was saying I was jealous of Vasily because there's an Anime North, a festival coming, and it's in Mississauga-ish. And I would not go to that because I'm not interested in that. But my nephew is here with his bestie, and they're going to it because they're into cosplay. And since I booked the 24th and 25th off for open doors, I have lots of time to prep, go to that place, and cover it. I didn't want to pay, so I applied for press credentials. And usually events have a little box saying media inquiries, but this one didn't, so I just sent a random, not random, but a message on Facebook Messenger and never heard back. But Vasily has press credentials, so I'm jealous. Hey, Coleslaw, how are ya? We're in the most expensive part of shopping area, anyway, in Toronto, short of Yorkdale Mall. This is Yorkville. And that is the biggest diamond ring I've ever seen. I think I have to wipe my lens. What do you think? So you can kind of see what I'm dealing with. The umbrella's not open, but it is misty as shit. So I think it's time to wipe. I'm across from Hazelton Place. I apologize, I'm going to wipe. Wiping done. And here, back to this jewelry shop that has the biggest diamond ring in the world. This is the area of the well-heeled, is the polite way of saying it. By well-heeled, you mean they have leather on their soles, not rubber. And I thought, what the hell, I'm done work. Henry is working lately, and so he doesn't do a lot of mid-week streams. And I thought, I'm just early enough not to interfere with Alex because he tends to do awesome live streams through Phuket shortly after I get home. And oh, thanks, Ramprat. I appreciate you. Oh, Vasily, can you send me a link? Maybe it's not too late for me to do that. I'd really like to. I'm not really into that, but I'm into my nephew and his bestie. So I'd like to go there and not have to pay. Yeah, I understand that, Bullslot. And if you need a Ferrari, they got you in this neighborhood. This is Blue Restaurant. I think this is the really high-end steakhouse. Maybe it was a little bit too high-end. Oh, maybe it looks like there was a fire. Anyway, I don't know. If anybody wants to do a Google search, they can find out what happened to Blue Restaurant. So I'll tell you, my nephew is from Charlottetown. It's a small town. It's about the size of Leaside or any small community. You can walk it from one circumference to the other in half an hour. And Brendan, his name, and Kylie is her name, have been off the island, but I mean, they've gone to places like Fredericton, which is kind of like the schwa of capital cities. It's no real big city experience. And okay, meat applications are now closed. Then I will not be going. So anyway, they're going to this cosplay place, and it is near the airport-ish. So they got a hotel room near the airport. The problem with that is, if you want to do anything fun, like actually in Toronto, it's a 2-hour commute if you don't have a car. They don't have a car, and they're unfamiliar with the transit system. I'm sure next time they'll consider maybe an Airbnb closer to the city and then commute to that thing. Maybe they'll come for Comic-Con. That's awesome. There was a restaurant in Toronto in the beaches, some weird Spanish steakhouse thing. I never went. Well, I actually did go, and I got very fatty lamb chops. Unacceptable. And they closed down, and they did what a lot of restaurants do. They don't let you know. They just put up a newspaper on the door, lock the doors, and they don't pay people. And that's very common for restaurants because there's no recourse. There's no follow-up. There's no government institution saying, hey, you didn't pay these people. And there's no unions in restaurants because people who work in restaurants don't make enough for union people to get paid to do stuff for you. So restaurant workers are fucked generally when that happens. And anyway, that place in the beaches, I forget the name of, did that. They closed, they put up the paper, they didn't pay people, and they didn't shut the website down, so people were making like New Year's Eve reservations still. And BlogTO caught them, or somebody caught them. Because they're just stupid. Oh, so Vasily's quite close. Vasily's all over the place. For work, he's well traveled. when I moved to Toronto, I sold my car because I didn't want to pay for parking, pay for insurance, pay for gas, pay for upkeep, and all that. I prefer to ride my bike or take transit. But, I also live in the heart of Toronto and can get anywhere in half an hour. So the car is an unnecessary thing for me. We have now officially reached Yorkville. Diva Tequila, how are you? How the heck are you, Diva? I'm going to cross Hey, feel free to use a turn signal, you dumbass. So I wanted to be live before Alex went live, and I wanted to be home before another walkthrough that I really enjoy, LP Walks out of New York City. If you aren't subscribed or haven't checked him out, he does like late night after midnight walks through the heart of New York City. I really enjoy that channel. And so does Muzzy. Eva Rainey, where have you been? I have not seen you talk about Wahlburgers for months. And one time I went to Wahlburgers. It was busy, I didn't stay. And it's now closed down. The Wahlburgers in Toronto. Hey Maroof, good to see you. How are you? And this is STK, Steak, where you can spend money in a hurry. STK, where the lobby is as big as one of our dining rooms. This is very nicely illuminated at night, and there's nobody around, so it's cool. Chibo. I've been at this place a number of times. I was at an Austrian wine tasting and a few generations of whatever the hell Chibo was, failed restaurants. Years ago, it was a Movenpick. I saw Gary Lehman and Ty Domi having dinner here after a Leafs game. They're just like on the patio having dinner, like just regular people. Pretty cool. That's just the curvature of the Earth. Coastline, no, I haven't, although I've gone through 3 more movies on my list. Juanita, you haven't hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. I agree. I appreciate you saying that. Right now, I don't see people going out or hanging out. The people that I do see are staff that have gotten cut because they're like, fuck man, it's dead. Send me home, send me home. Lots of people will do surgery on your face in this neighborhood. And they'll do surgery on your wallet and your bank account. Dave Averino, the Wahlburgers is closed. There's one Wahlburgers in Toronto, and it was near the Sky Dome where the Blue Jays play, and it's been closed for like 6 months. So there will be no Wahlburgers in my life. This is a place called the Oxley. I think it must be a pub. Yeah, it looks, the face looks like they've got tape, like duct tape pulling their cheeks apart. But he's waving. I don't know who that is. He saw me with the gimbal, he started to wave. Yeah, my restaurant is in the Annex, which is near Yorkville. And a lot of the people have had work that show up. And it's like an addiction. You go once and a new wrinkle happens, you must go back, and eventually you just look like a disaster. Summers. Well, I can smell Summers. It looks like an ice cream store. Maybe doing crepes. Interesting. And this used to be over the Rainbow, which is a very popular place in Europe. Gone. I believe it's now in Rainey Life Center. And there's the Balenciaga people. And didn't they get in trouble for sexualizing babies with strange leather attire? Yes, they did. That's a thing that happened. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm nosy. Some fancy gallery showing what's happening. Yeah, this is the fancy part of town. This is the fancy part of town, near the Mink Mile. It's a favorite place for people who want to walk through. This is new. I didn't realize all of her jewelry. It was like a guy who buys gold. He'll buy your ring, and it may be worth $2,000, and he'll give you $500 because they have to make a profit. And people often don't understand that just because you go to someone and they say your ring is worth $5,000, it's not really worth $5,000. It's kind of, if you paid the insurance, they might get you that kind of money. When you try to sell stuff, you'll find out that the real worth of things is much less. This is a famous spot, Cafe Nervosa. I used to come here with a girlfriend quite often. Really good food. Popular with the well-heeled crowd as well. So this is like a Cafe Toronto thing that looks like it's just dying for good weather. The weather is unseasonably cold. I'm wearing a toque and a hoodie. with a long sleeve kind of shirt underneath. And there will be no respite from this weather all weekend. It'll be like this too. Here's Tokyo Smoke. Or if we say it backwards, Smoke Your Toke. It's probably the most well-stocked, well-run pot shop in Toronto. There was a chain of them, and they expanded and went bankrupt, and now there's not as many open. Here's Fancy Schmancy Sassafras.
Think about their system.
And as I said, this is a very popular place for walk tubers. I ran into Toronto sitting down here about a month ago. I was on the way to Tokyo Smoke, and he was in the middle of a live stream. Over here by the big rock, I sniped Henry and Alex and Sapan and Epic Ninja Liam, and that turned into a snowball fight. That's when Sapan did a snow angel. Right about here. There's a neat little store, barbecue store. Often I'll get off the subway here at Bay and Bloor, and I'll be hungry. I need a snack before work, and this place popped up. I'm not sure when. You know, when I noticed it was like 3 months ago. And you walk in, there's maybe room for 2 people to order. And there's a couple people behind the counter, and you can't see what's behind them, but Barbecue Express, and they're Korean. Oh, 3-2 oilers, thank you. Highly recommend it if you want an egg sandwich, you want a burger, you want a hot dog. Come here, nice family-owned spot. Hole in the wall, locals know it. I think it's time for another wipe of the camera. Bear with me. And this is all Zegna all the time, I guess. 3-3. Uh-oh. Zegna is an Italian manufacturer of linen and fabric. And I used to wear a lot of Zegna when I had a job that required me to wear fancy shirts and ties. And this is Harry Rosen, a very famous clothier. Harry Rosen is a guy that my dad used to drink with. Back in the day, my dad was in advertising, and he was friends with Harry Rosen, and him and a couple other guys would go to a place called Carmen's Club to drink and eat. And Carmen's was a steakhouse. And back in the day, and I'm talking like in the 50s, you couldn't sell alcohol unless you were like a hotel or a private club. So Carmen's, a steakhouse, became Carmen's Club. And my dad, his whole adult life, had his Carmen's Club card in his wallet, which is pretty cool. Later the laws were changed. You didn't have to remain a private club. And soon, Carmen's closed down. When Carmen died and kind of got resurrected, but poorly. It's going to be demolished. Make way for, you guessed it, condos. And here is Italy. And here is Young and Blurred. And I am just going to keep walking on Blurred. How are you? Thank you for hanging out with me in ministry. If I had my druthers, the band would have played less synth pop and more post filth pig stuff. Because I was never a fan of Ministry with the synth pop. In fact, I was not even listening to Ministry back then. It was a good show. I think what I'm going to do is walk to Sherburne. Bolt Renfrew Center. This store is so fancy, they have a concierge desk. here's the big LCBO. Not the flagship, but it's a good one. Primus? Shut up! Everybody in the chat, if you do not know who Winona is, or know nothing about her big brown beaver, I would put that in your Google machine. You hear some of the best bass riffs you've ever heard. And it's very misty. People have their umbrellas out, and I have mine. And I'm not being paid to promote this awesome umbrella. The company is Blunt, and I got it through a Kickstarter campaign. This is the third Blunt umbrella I've bought because I have a habit of leaving things on the subway and the streetcar. And here is one big, maybe Jamie new condo going up. Holy crap. Like, I can't even see the top of this fucking thing. I'm getting a little dizzy trying to. So I'm gonna stop. So Primus, perfect circle, and a pulsifer. I don't know what a pulsifer is. Oh, weird. Coming soon. Smeg. Not a name I would choose. It's kind of got the bay colors, which is funny, because the bay was in this building. And then when they started to go bankrupt, which was like 3 years ago, and started closing some of their stores, this was the location. This one closed. I recently did a walkthrough last week of the bay, and it's very sad because to me it was the fancy place, the one-stop shopping, great quality, good service. You move to a new city, go to the bay and get your pots and pans there because they're probably get a deal and free quality, free selection. Oh, and I just confused myself. I was at Fame Lure, now I'm at Gun Lure.
Sorry.
Go, bud. Have a nice day.
Good parasol.
I got one.
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw my gimbal. He got a little weirded out by it, but he was certainly pleasant enough. This is Cafe Landwehr. I like it. I had a breakfast sandwich there while waiting for Henry, and we were doing a walk together. Excellent breakfast sandwich, but it did take a long time. And I think it's time to wipe the lens. So bear with me. and I had a good sleep today. I needed it because my Sunday was a little bit too busy. I planned too much that day. And then Monday, I had trouble getting home. Hey, thanks for cider. How are you? Monday, I had trouble getting home because they have the stupid fireworks at Ashbridges Bay. And transit and driving and walking is just a disaster. So it took me about an hour and a half to get home when it should take about a half an hour. So I took it easy today. That's it. This is like what I call a Henry Walker. And here is W Hotel. And it's the fancy elevator that you take to get up there. I went for dinner with Merlin. She sent me a WhatsApp message and it says, "What are you doing? I'm hungry. I want to go out." And I looked for places that had nice views, and I found this place. It has a rooftop patio and a great view when it's not rooftop patio. And then I found out it was her birthday. Really cool. Not cheap. The food was a little weird. I had a steak. It was kind of a deconstructed steak. That's pretty cool. Hey, Dirtweed, how are you? Really? I didn't know that. Roof. So Dundas Station will be renamed TMU. Well, Dundas is on a lot of things, so if you want to cancel this person, it's going to be pretty expensive. I live at the end of Dundas. When Dundas turns into Kingston Road. It's the old Dundas, the old number 2 highway that still kind of exists. You can take it all the way to Windsor. If you look on the map, you see Dundas and you'll see number 2, and that's what they're referring to, the old number 2 highway. I was thinking of doing a wine with Muzzy tonight, and I actually went to the LCBO and got a really interesting bottle. But then I thought, nope. Let's do it in the rain. Sunset Grill, awesome breakfast. I live in the beaches where the original one is. Mad radish, burrito bowls, salads. $1.6 million is the cost. Well, you know, I don't mind erasing the name of somebody who's especially juicy.
Oh my god, I was really juicy.
You know, where do you stop? I mean, Don A. McDonald's on our $10 bill and on a whole lot of stuff, and he's racist as fuck. There's Pico or Pico. I'm not sure what it is. Is it a pizza company? Pizza bar? I've never had it. There are so many places to have pizza in this city. And there is the flag, because we are officially in Boys Town. Last year, Ema and I did a walk in Boys Town, or the gay village. We did that because we were sitting at the bar at the Delta, the hotel, I think it's the Delta, down by the water. And we're going to go to Hamlin's Point for an doors open tour. But Ema's like, but it's raining, I don't want to be on a boat. So we decided to go on a walking tour of Boys Town. It was a lot of fun. And they're not doing it this year. So for those who don't know, Doors Open Toronto is, I think, 22 years old. This year there's 160 buildings and sites that you don't normally have access to. And you will this weekend. Pico, not Pico. Pico. Okay, thank you, Vasily. And does it stand for pizza company? So, it's nice to go into the buildings. You want to avoid, like, TV Center. I saw Ken get trapped for like an hour in line waiting to get in because there's a certain number of elevators that they can use. So I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the dog jail because everybody likes the dog jail. And I believe we have confirmed we're going to do the Toronto Archives building, which is near St. Clair and Davenport, DuPont. And there's a half dozen other ones that I want to do. Usually there are some interesting neighborhood walks, but this year there are no neighborhood walks that I'm interested in. Like a pizza pie. Pizza pie. Yeah, I saw that Billy Bishop one. That's kind of neat. I don't think I need a tour of Billy Bishop, as I've been on several planes. Billy Bishop. I don't think we can really pick up this structure, but it looks like people. It looks like a crowd. This is an insurance company, that's why the lawn is perfectly manicured and the building is beautiful. build content that it's a little more inclusive than you see. Time to wipe the lens. Mount Pleasant. One's parallel to Young. And we're approaching Sherburne. And I am not turning right on Sherburne as it is a mecca, a Dingai mecca. Dingai? Dingai? And it's time for a wipe. Apologize for that. Monty Pleasant Road. Look at the area that is dry. There are buses that say not in service. It suggests to me that the subway line is shutting down. By the way, I threw it in our greatest of all time chat on Insta that line 1 is shutting down between Shepherd and College all weekend. Driving home was hellish. You could barely see the lines on the highway. That's very dangerous. Holy crap, $53. Piziola. Yeah, Dallas is playing Edmonton, the last remaining Canadian team. Dallas looks pretty good. Dallas has Rantanen, the guy that we could have gotten for Marner, but we didn't. So instead of getting rid of a tiny little soft player who didn't have a shot in Game 6, we could have gotten Rantanen, who is going to be the MVP of every series that he plays. And this is Sherburne. going to cross Sherburne. Yeah, I mean, do the Oilers have the horses? I don't know. And we are still on Bloor. To the left I have Rosedale and a ravine and Rosedale Valley Road, which you can't see. It's just pitch black. And here's a contrast. On this side of the road, we have St. Jamestown, which is new Canadians can afford to live there. Crime is through the fucking roof. On this side you have Rosedale, where there is no crime. And lots of fancy houses. Separated by Bloor. 6th Street disaster. It's a fire station, and the next station we'll encounter Castle Frank. I dated a girl who lived on a street near Castle Frank. We were working at the same restaurant, a place called the Bloor Street Diner, Toronto. Do you remember that place? Dano, remember that place? That Bloor Street Diner was in the Manulife Center. It was a French bistro. The food was good. The owner was an ass. The wife was an ass. The kids were spoiled. Food was good. I served many famous people there. Hakeem Olajuwon. Shields. Nice one. And I'm trying to remember his name. It was Kunta Kinte in Roots. And he did that Sultan show and did a lot of stuff. And he was a giant Star Trek with the funny thing over his eyes. In the cameo video Word Up. If you've never seen the cameo video Word Up, it's a great song. And he looked at me and he said, "I'm disturbed that you remember that about me." And I think it probably the least prolific thing that he had done. These are new condos at Parliament and Bloor. And you can see one of those is Rainey. Take a look at that. the plus side, I love this bike lane, which is protected by concrete. Yeah, I'll try not to do my Mary Poppins routine. There's nobody out here, but even if it was nice weather, there's nobody out here for this part of Bloor. Down at right angles. This is nasty. And here's my blunt umbrella, saving the day. Yeah, I love the concrete barriers. If your car can be damaged by a barrier, then it's an effective barrier. And that just saves lives. But these stupid little ones here, if you drive over them, they just crumple. There's no damage to the car, and that's not saving lives at all. So I put the umbrella away because I just can't control it. The wind is so strong. So we're just going to have to suck it up. And a wipe of the camera. Now my only beef is the 5 million guys delivering food on their very quiet scooters and bicycles. Some of them are like little mini motorcycles. And they're heavy, and when they hit you, they break things. Here is an interesting look. Down below here you can see the subway. You can't really see it very well, but trust me, this is a tube, a concrete tube with a subway in it, coming from Castle Frank going to Sherburne. Wine with Muzzies looking like it was such a better idea at this point. Hey, the Harlem bus coming from Castle Frank. Anyway, I was saying, I dated a girl who lived on the street right over here that's near Castle Frank. And I asked where she lived before we started dating. She said St. Jamestown. And I felt terrible for her. That's not a good place to live. What I didn't realize is that she lives on the only well-to-do street that has mansions and beautiful homes. Wow, I am a wet mess. I'm going to put this on a gimbal, or put this on a tripod and dry off a little bit. And bear with me as I try to dry off this phone, gimbal, face. There we go. Sorry for that. That might have been interesting. Yeah, it stops everybody from parking the bike lane, which I like, but still allows emergency vehicles to drive through the bike lane if they need to. And the Padres are at home, and my nephew and his bestie Kylie went to the game tonight. I don't know what the score was. And this is going to be the end for me. My newest best friend, Castle Frank subway station. Here we are. Alright, still a good night. I'm going to go home and have a shower and get under a warm blanket. Here we are at Castle Frank. This looks like an unmanned station. There's like nobody here. And here, look at this funny looking guy in the mirror. Hey, Dennis Pike, how are you? Janice, you came in right at the end. I'm ending the stream and heading home. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Chatty Cathy, I believe, first in the chat, along with Medano and Juanita. Coleslaw is here. Vasily from Toronto. I appreciate you all. I don't know why I'm talking so quiet. There's nobody here. Oh, there's a guy. Thank you for popping in to say hello, Janice. Good to see you. And I am going to take off. Maroof, good night. I will see you in the ether.